If you want to watch anime like Mob Psycho 100, ReZero, and the upcoming new season of Attack on Titan, check it out over on Verve's Crunchyroll app built into Verve, so you don't have to even have Crunchyroll. Just get the combo pack, and that includes all the features within Verve, and it doesn't crash. This thing's only crashed on me once in years that I've used it. Check out Verve, try it out for free, vrv.co/geekdom. Try it for free now. So in continuing with our look at Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, and discussing the various aspects and or theories from myself and the fandom, I want to talk about Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, and not The Rise of Skywalker, The Rise of Emperor Palpatine. So at Star Wars Celebration Chicago, they played the trailer. You hear Palpatine's laugh at the end of the trailer. That is 100% confirmed to be Palpatine. That was not Luke laughing. I don't know why people thought it was. That is indeed the Emperor, the former Emperor of the galaxy, leader of the Empire, Sith Lord Darth Sidious, whatever you want to call him, cackling at the end. And then they had Ian McDiarmid come out and say, "Play it again." So it was definitely him. He's definitely in the movie. He's been listed in the cast. Now, what is his role going to be, and how does he even back? So, MakingStarWars.net did an article where they talk about how there's a scene in the movie where Rey and, again, this is all possible spoilers. We don't know for sure. So, just letting you know now, where Rey and Kylo face off against somebody in a cloak. And, of course, if they had not killed Snoke off in the last movie, Last Jedi, you would think it would be Snoke, right? I mean, it would make sense that if they're going to redeem Kylo Ren, that the final battle of Episode 9 would have been Snoke against Kylo and Rey. But no, he's gone. So Palpatine is in the movie. The question is, how is he back? Okay, the issue I have with Palpatine coming back, I want to first of all talk about this. Even though I am personally a huge fan of Emperor Palpatine, huge fan of that character, one of the greatest villains in cinema, and really a character that I did want to see more of with the new Disney films. I didn't want him to come back for 7, 8, and 9, and I'll tell you why in a minute, but I would have loved if they had done a Lords of the Sith prequel or a Palpatine prequel, tell a story of Palpatine before he was, of course, betrayed and murdered by Darth Vader, at the end of Return of the Jedi. The reason why I am not a fan of Palpatine coming back, now, I want to say this, I haven't seen Episode 9 yet. They might make it work, okay? But the reason why I don't like this concept is because bringing Palpatine back to me is not only cheap fan service schlock, but it's also something that I feel takes away from the impact of the ending of Return of the Jedi. Whether you watch the original trilogy by itself or whether you watch all 6 of the original films before Disney took over, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know how important it is for Vader to finally have been redeemed. As his son is getting killed by Palpatine with Force lightning, he lifts him up, throws him into that engine, and he is dead. And I highly doubt that anybody could have survived that fall. But apparently somehow he survived, or did he? That is the question. To me, I feel like that takes away from that moment. I feel like the moment of Vader turning on his master, who pretty much manipulated and lied to him all this time since the prequels, manipulated everybody and lied to everybody, was a very satisfying and was probably the most satisfying moment in that movie. When Vader, it's the climax of the saga, when Vader realizes that he's been doing wrong the whole time, and he loves his son so much that his son brought him back to the light, and he, did the right thing by getting rid of Palpatine at the sacrifice of his own life, because when he picked him up, that Force lightning went into his circuits. He was going to die. His breathing apparatus was done. He died. I think that takes away from that. If Palpatine survived that, I'm not really a fan of that. Now, the other idea is that possibly they're going to take a page out of the old EU, now known as Legends, which is have Palpatine clone himself. Of course, we know that in the prequels, we find out that there were cloners on Kamino who made clones of, Jango Fett that would eventually become the clone troopers for the Republic, later on the Empire. And, the concept of cloning, it has been revisited so many times in Star Wars, even before the prequels. And there was a story where Palpatine cloned himself and somehow made it out. So, as a clone. So that is a possibility as well. I feel like, again, that's just cheap fan service. They're copying ideas from the EU. And I have no problem with them taking ideas from Legends, because let's be real. Legends has some great freaking ideas. Legends has always had great ideas. But I feel like this whole thing of Palpatine coming back just, it rubs me the wrong way. As a fan of Palpatine, that's great, because Ian McDiarmid's one of his best performances ever was as Palpatine. He was amazing in Revenge of the Sith. If there's one thing to take away from that film that I think is unarguable, whether or not you like or hate that movie, it's how good Ian McDiarmid was as Palpatine. But how is he coming back? Okay, could it be that they gain access to the Void, to the Netherrealm, and bring him back? Also, in Star Wars Rebels, there was a whole episode about time travel where they find out there's a place that exists outside of the main universe that you can basically time travel in. It's like the Force sort of astral plane that controls all of time. Maybe there's a way they can bring him back through that. I mean, that's also a possibility. And if you saw the trailer, they show the Death Star 2, and maybe he's still in there somewhere. Maybe he didn't die. I don't know. It just seems kind of a lame thing that Vader doing what he did and it not mattering does take away from that movie. And I love Episode 6. Another thing too, one of the dumber theories that I have been reading online, if you believe this, it's just not very well thought out, is the theory that Supreme Leader Snoke is Emperor Palpatine, always has been. I just feel like it doesn't make any sense, because number one, Snoke's already dead anyways. Snoke, was killed in Last Jedi. Number two, we know for a fact that Snoke is not Emperor Palpatine, because when the Imperial Remnant went into the unknown region, it was Snoke that had found them and, became their leader. So, no, I don't foresee Snoke being Emperor Palpatine. Somehow he switched bodies. However, the changing bodies theory is another possibility. Maybe he did change bodies before he died or something, but with who? With Luke? With Vader? Like, who did he change bodies with? Again, that never made any sense to me either. It's difficult to say what they could do with Palpatine. I mean, like I said, it's going to be cool seeing him on screen and cackling and shooting Force lightning. But why is he back? How is he back? Which theory makes the most sense to you? Could it be that he was cloned? Could it be that all this time he was cloned? And if he did survive, let's say he did survive the Death Star 2, because it wasn't just that he fell in the engine, the whole thing blew up. And the idea that he found some kind of ship and got off the Death Star so soon, I don't know if I like that. It just seems like too much of a bad retcon. It is bad retroactive continuity, if you ask me. I'm not going to be happy if that's the case. What could it be? What could be the reason? And like I said, if he did get off the ship, where has he been this entire time? Has he been hiding in the beyond, in the unknown region? Has he been hiding somewhere? It's interesting because Palpatine did say that there was a weapon or something. There was some kind of very powerful artifact on Jakku. This is all in the books, by the way, the new books, or the newer books, that was important 1,000 years ago and will be again. That was a teaser from the books that never got a payoff in the movies. And I wonder if JJ is going to take that idea and actually formulate it into meaning something. Maybe there is somewhere on Jakku where the dead will rise again. I mean, the Force, if you watch Clone Wars, you see how there's all these crazy places like Moraband and all these crazy planets where the Force acts. Even Dagobah, you have these weird sort of vergences in the Force where things become unnatural, like Palpatine said. Speaking of which, there's also the whole theory about cheating death, and how in the prequels, Palpatine told Anakin that his master, who was Darth Plagueis, knew how to cheat death. And I wonder, because the whole time it's like, okay, he lied to him, because he told him he could have figured it out. And then after he already became Vader, he's like, if we work together, I know we can discover the secret. So did Vader and Palpatine work together, or did maybe Palpatine figure it out and not tell Vader? Did that happen? Does Palpatine actually know how to cheat death? Did he figure it out from, Plagueis, or from his own studies? Because remember, Palpatine's one of the most powerful and well-researched Sith Lord / dark side user in the history of the galaxy. He knew a lot of incantations. He knew a lot of abilities to harness that dark side. So is that what he did? Did he fake his death the entire time? I don't know. What do you think? Please leave a comment and let me know what makes the most logical sense. Not just what you want to see, what you think is going to happen, because personally, it has to be something really creative. I know they asked John Boyega, and John Boyega said that JJ's a genius. That's what he said. But again, you have to remember, when they say those things, it's the actors trying to protect their movie. If it's a bad idea, you're not going to have one of the leads go, oh, I don't know if I like that idea. They're always going to defend the movie they're in because they want the movie to make money, because then it makes their careers look good and they end up doing better. You know what I mean? So you can never trust an actor who says this is great when it's not. Except maybe Mark Hamill, because he did trash on Last Jedi quite a bit. And the way Luke's character was portrayed, he did say that several times, that he didn't think that was Luke at all. So he was the one that was right, but there are exceptions, like I always say. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to y'all in the comments down below.